Hi everyone, Vegas Film Critic here, Jeffrey K. Howard here to talk about The Hateful Eight. Yes, Quentin Tarantino has finally come out with his 8th film. You know how many 8 is? That's how many 8 is. Comes out with his 8th film, another Western. I'm a Western fanatic. I'm a Quentin Tarantino fanatic. The cast is phenomenal. It just, we have a lot to talk about. We have a lot to talk about with The Hateful Eight. First of all, let's just talk about the backstory of The Hateful Eight. Forget the movie for right now. Let's just talk about the making of the movie. How he wrote this script, he sent it out to his cast members, and it got leaked online, and he flipped out saying, I'm never going to make a movie again, especially this movie, you know, because people read it and it wasn't finished yet. It was a first draft or whatever kind of Tarantino tantrum he had. And then he was just, the movie was released in 70mm CinemaScope, which we'll get into, and it was supposed to play in the ArcLight Theater in Los Angeles for the Christmas run, but Disney had Star Wars play instead, so there was this big kind of like pissing contest between Tarantino and Disney, and Tarantino made a fortune for Disney with Miramax, and oh my gosh, there's so much controversy around before even one frame was shot that this movie it's part of what legends are made of. That's what I love about Tarantino and his love for movies. So let's get to The Hateful Eight. It's a Western. It's an Agatha Christie murder mystery. It's so many different things. It's so many things that are classic Hollywood and things that are just trademark Tarantino. And to set the story up, you have a gang of 8 people trapped at Minnie's Haberdashery, this cabin in Wyoming that's snowed in by a blizzard. And some of them are not who they seem to be. So the whole movie explores not only just in depth each one of these characters, but what they're doing there, what their motives are, and some of these characters we already know why they're there. But then some of the other characters we just don't know, you know. And we have this incredible roster of Tarantino regulars: Michael Madsen, Bruce Dern, Kurt Russell, the great Samuel L. Jackson, Walter Goggins. So many incredible cast members, and Jennifer Jason Leigh. We're going to talk about all of that. We're going to talk about this. So it's just an incredible cast. So anyway, there was also some criticism. I forgot to mention that there was an episode of The Rebel that was basically kind of like the same setup, you know, that 60s television show that Tarantino supposedly, you know, lifted from. But you know what? Cinema just celebrated, what, 100, 125 years of being around. You know, every story is just about told out. If you come up with something original, you know, you just contact me. I'd love to hear what your original story is. Everything is from something else. But you know what? You repackage it, you make it your own, and you entertain people. It's always going to be around. So I just hate how people nitpick over things like that. So anyway, we're trapped in this cabin, and we don't know who's who. We don't know what's going on. And I don't want to sit here for an hour and go through all these characters and through all these, you know, what their motives are and what, you know, it basically has to be an experience. Okay, Tarantino is an experience. From the opening credits, which looks like 1976, 1975, and with the trademark on the bottom and the font and everything, to the opening music and the opening shot. I mean, there are so many memorable things about this. Tarantino's a genius. And he's also claiming that he's only going to make 10 films. That's why he's numbering them. I hope that's not true, because he'll get bored. But he wants to go do theater. He wants to write books. He wants to experience other things. But I think that he's always going to be a filmmaker. Now, everyone knows that Tarantino is a film fanatic, meaning he's a purist. Just like Chris Nolan that did the Batman films and some other filmmakers, they want to use film. But he went kind of crazy this time. He wanted to shoot this on 70mm film and use the actual lenses from Panavision. The actual lenses from Panavision. Boy, say that 3 times fast. That shot Ben-Hur. That shot It's a Mad, Mad, Mad World. That shot Khartoum. I mean, some of these classic movies from the 1960s in this widescreen format. And Tarantino tells these stories about, he goes there and he goes, I want that lens, not like those lenses. These are the lenses that shot those films. So if you can, there's 100 cities around the country that's showing The Hateful Eight in 70mm film. They've outfitted 100 theaters with projectors. Some still had them, and you get to see the Roadshow edition. I'm looking for, oh, here it is. Now, check this out. Now, with the Roadshow edition means you get the longer version, you get the film version, you get the overture, you get the intermission, you get the whole experience like you're going to the movies in 1965. You know, there's so many movies were made in this format. I remember Around the World in 80 Days. I must watch that at least once every month or two. I mean, I love that film just for the scope of it. There's a lot of reasons I like that movie, but it just reminds me, for the classic movie fan, for the Turner classic movie fan that I am, seeing The Hateful Eight in 70mm. I've seen it 3 or 4 times, I have to admit. The first couple times I saw it was digital, you know, because it wasn't ready yet. But then I went and saw it here in Las Vegas. It's one of the 100 cities. And check this out. You get this booklet. Can you see it? get this booklet, which lists all the cast, everybody's on here, and a little explaining of what, how to get to the Roadshow edition, how Tarantino did it. Look at this. Isn't this great? And I guess I didn't know this, but I think there's 8 different versions of this booklet, and I got Kurt Russell. So I think, Tarantino, you're a bastard for making me... Do I have to go out and collect the other 7? Do I have to get on eBay, or do I have to see it 7 more times? And they ran out of these the first day. If you didn't see this the first day, it's not like they printed 10 million of these. But look at this. Look at this thing. I mean, this is a movie-going experience, folks. This is what the movies are all about. And then also, I want to talk about... the music in the film. Ennio Morricone, who did Tarantino's favorite film, The Good, Bad, and the Ugly, did all the spaghetti westerns, did the movie called The Mission. One of my first writing gigs ever. My very first thing as a journalist, 20-something years ago, I submitted articles to Film Score Monthly. I'm a film score fanatic. I love movie scores, just every kind, you name it. You want to talk about movie scores, that's me. But that's where I got my beginning. Before I was a critic, before I went to film school, before I did anything like that, I was just a fan of film music, and I would write into Film Score Monthly and submit articles, and they're all online now, but these are all from a long time ago. So I belong to some critics groups. I belong to the Las Vegas Film Critics Society and the Broadcast Film Critics Society, the Critics' Choice Awards. And of course they send us all the screeners and everything. I'm getting this stuff over here. Now for this, they want me to consider the Hateful Eight for best score. And here's the letter they sent along from the Weinstein Company. Can you see that? Of course I'm going to consider it for best score. I mean, the music is phenomenal. Kind of reminds me of the Untouchables, but why not? And yes, I've seen it 3 times in the theater, but then, of course, Weinstein, thank you so much. They sent me the screener. There it is for your consideration. All the different categories. Of course I'll consider it, very much so. You want to come over and watch it? You can't, only me. Did I forget anything else? I'll tell you who my favorite character is. We have 8 of them. Samuel Jackson, of course, is just, he has that dialogue and has those Tarantino, the way he delivers Tarantino's lines. There's so much, I don't want to give any spoilers away, and it's almost out of context if you don't see this 3-hour-plus movie. But I love Walter Coggins. I'm going to get his name wrong every time. Walter Goggins. God, why can't I get his name right? I've been watching him for years. Walter Coggins plays the sheriff of Red Rock, and he blows me away. He's just good in everything he does, but you know what? He was great in Django Unchained, but this time he just really shines. This movie's almost like a play, and even Tarantino hinted that he wants to maybe take this to the stage, and I can totally see this on Broadway, and I will see it on Broadway if it makes it there. Oh my gosh. What's really cool is me and Tarantino, we have the same background. I went to film school, he did, but I mean, we both had video stores. He worked at a video store in the 80s. I started with 1 and I had 5. And then in 1991, I sold them all and went back to college to get my film degree, communications, and start my career path. But we both worked in video stores. So we both, I love to play a game with him. If he can name the movie, I can tell you the studio. That's one of my favorite things. All these movies behind me, you just name the movie, I'll tell you who made it. I don't know why. I just remember the studio, who made all of it. Now, I'm a little fuzzy sometimes on dates, but no, normally I get the dates right. So, and he also, I've interviewed Tarantino a few times, and I have a great Kill Bill Volume 2 story, so if you see me, maybe I'll post it on here. I have a great story about that when I did the interviews for that. And he also collects movies on film. Look behind me. I do 16mm too, and I have CinemaScope lens, I have CinemaScope prints, I have regular, educational films and TV shows and classic movies, you name it back there, from Beach Blanket Bingo to Casablanca, I have back there. No, Maltese Falcon. I think I have both. I have so many cool films. So if you come over, we'll watch a film. I have like 3 or 4 projectors. His Beverly Cinema in Los Angeles shows only film. So I'm a purist. I really am. So I have such a connection to Tarantino and his love of film, where it's a two-way street. Well, I think that's it. Hateful Eight is in theaters now. You've got to go see it. You have to experience it on the big screen. And if you're in one of those 100 cities that get to see the Roadshow edition, please, digital looks good too, but wait till you see what he did with these incredible images, these vistas. Some people are saying, why do you need a widescreen format to shoot inside of a cabin? Well, why not? It looks phenomenal. Notice the lighting. Notice all the technical achievements that goes along with this movie, and you will have an incredible movie-going experience. All right, for more reviews and interviews, just surf on over to my website at vegasfilmcritic.com, and check out my podcast on iTunes. And if you like what you see, what you do, that little V, how am I looking? There's a V somewhere in the corner here where you can subscribe. Thumbs up, please. And I'd love to hear what your favorite Tarantino film is. I'm Jeffrey K. Howard. I'll see you next time.